Adriana, why are you at Dad's funeral?
Huh? What do you mean why I'm at his funeral? Weren't all of Dad's relatives invited to come?
Stop pretending like he was your dad, Adriana. You're pretending like you were his family during yesterday's wake, too. Do you know how annoyed I was at seeing you?
But I'm his daughter, so I wanted to say farewell to him as well.
Huh? It seems like you have some sort of misunderstanding, but it's extremely rude to sit with his family when you're just an adopted child.
What? I know I was only adopted, but he raised me like his own daughter ever since I was a young child. I don't even remember who my real parents were.
It doesn't matter whether he raised you or not when you're not actually related to him by blood. You're not related to me either. I call you my sister just for convenience, but I don't really think you're my sister, alright? You're always just fucking Adriana in my mind. But I'm the daughter of a CEO, so I can't say such things out loud, right? I feel as if I'm being punished whenever I have to call you my sister, but it can't be helped.
Philia, why were you always this mean to me?
Why shouldn't I be mean to you? Even though you weren't even Dad's real child, he always treated you better than me, his actual daughter, for some goddamn reason. But just because I call you my sister doesn't mean you can pretend to be his daughter at his funeral. Dad was always nice to you, but I'm not going to be the same. I'm his real daughter, not you. You're basically just a stranger to him, you know?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt like that all this time. I guess it must have been difficult seeing your father treat us differently. But still, what you're saying is just going too far. Just because I wasn't related to him by blood doesn't mean that we couldn't have had a meaningful relationship as father and daughter.
Shut it. Just leave the funeral right now. I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Ugh, I always hated how you were like this. Every time I get mad at you, you always pretend like you did nothing wrong and I'm the bad guy. For once, could you just admit you were wrong?
Adriana, are you alright?
Oh, hi, Irvis. It's fine. I just got a little bit wet. It's not like she hurt me or anything.
Someone saw Phila dumping a bucket of water on you and told me about it. Where are you right now?
I'm at the rental clothes store near the funeral.
Oh, so you rented morning clothes to go to the funeral?
Yep. Someone from the shop saw that Philly had dumped a bucket of water on me and brought me here.
I'm glad things seem to be alright. They're gonna give you new clothes, right?
Yeah, thankfully the owner's a kind person. I also thought of borrowing a wig and some glasses.
What? For what would you need a wig and glasses for?
To disguise myself. So I could sit with the rest of the relatives without being noticed.
What? You don't have to hide like that, Adriana. You did nothing wrong. He's your father.
But...
I'll sit next to you the whole time and prevent anyone from doing anything strange.
What? You'll do that for me?
You're my fiancé. I already got permission to sit with your relatives, so it's not gonna be a problem. Even Phila will have no choice but to behave if she's in front of a crowd of people. Don't worry about it. Return to the funeral and say goodbye to your father. Even though you weren't related to him by blood, you were probably closer to him than anyone else in that funeral. Even Phila.
Irvis, I wouldn't know what I would do without you. Thank you. I'll return as soon as I change.
What is your problem? Why is Irvis standing watch next to you the whole time?
Hello, Philia. I know you were mad at me, but dumping a bucket of water on my head like that was rude. I would have been glad to settle our differences, but you didn't want to talk to me.
This again. I hate how you always make me seem like the bad guy. You don't seem to understand yet. You're not supposed to be at this funeral. Also, Irvis is supposed to be my fiancé, not yours.
Huh? What does Irvis have to do with this? And what do you mean he's supposed to be your fiancé?
I mean, shouldn't the person who's going to inherit father's company marry the CEO's only daughter? Mom said that as well. And besides, he's too good for you anyways.
Are you trying to say that it's already decided that Irvis is going to be the next CEO? Where'd you get that information?
I mean, isn't it obvious? For some unknown reason, he's engaged to you, who isn't actually related to father, but it was supposed to be me, you know? This is a good opportunity, so I'll be taking Irvis from you, okay?
That has nothing to do with whether Irvis is going to be the next CEO. What you're saying doesn't make any sense, Philia.
You're so frustrating to talk to. You're going to leave this funeral and Irvis is going to be mine, period. Oh, I almost forgot. There's something Mom wants to tell you. Don't think that a stranger has a right to receive an inheritance, she said.
Sorry, but I'm not going to leave the funeral, and I'm not going to give you Irvis as well. And what's that about the inheritance? Is she telling me to let go of my portion of the inheritance when he was my father as well?
Fine, stay at the funeral if you want. Just know that you aren't welcomed here. Oh, and as for Irvis, I'll take care of him myself later. And yes, that's what Mom is saying. I agree with her, by the way. Why should a complete stranger inherit stuff from my dad, who was a CEO? He probably has a fortune waiting for me.
I don't think this is something we should be talking about the day of the funeral. It's impolite. Dad's will's going to be released by a lawyer after the memorial service takes place, right? The company can't just wait until it's released. So it seems that they're holding meetings to decide who the next CEO is going to be. So I think it's best not to say or do anything stupid for now.
I didn't quite get what you said, but I'm going to take Irvis from you, all right? Irvis himself will probably choose me, the CEO's real daughter, over a complete stranger like you, if he's going to go after the position of CEO.
Well, I guess we are just strangers to each other. I can understand why you don't like me, but it's not an excuse to treat me the way you're currently treating me.
Finally, you understand. It's fine with me, whatever you think, as long as you get out of my life. Looks like you messed up, Adriana. Irvis, the next CEO of Dad's company, is going to be mine now. Too bad, I guess.
But it was already decided before Dad passed away that Irvis wouldn't be the next CEO.
Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean he's not going to be the next CEO? Hi, Irvis. I'm your new fiancé from now on, so I hope we can get along.
Huh? What are you talking about, Filler? My fiancé isn't you, but Adriana, your sister?
Oh, that's been canceled.
Huh? Canceled? What do you mean?
Dad messed up a bit, so you for some reason got engaged to Adriana, but in reality, you're supposed to marry me, not her. Which is why I'm gonna fix things now that Dad is gone.
My marriage with Adriana has nothing to do with the company's interest, though.
But just a little bit longer and I'll get my hands on Dad's inheritance. If you don't marry me, then the position of CEO is gonna be harder to obtain, you know?
I don't quite follow.
What?
It doesn't matter what you say. My fiancé is Adriana. I have no intention of getting married to any other woman. Goodbye.
What's the meaning of this? Why are you the next CEO? This has got to be some sort of mistake. What dirty trick did you use to make this happen?
Philia, it looks like you're misunderstanding.
What? How am I misunderstanding?
I'll try to explain to you what happened, alright?
Fine, explain it then.
Well, we first need to talk about why your father adopted me.
It's because Mom and Dad couldn't quite bear a child, right? But I was miraculously born after they adopted you.
It's true that they couldn't bear a child before they adopted me, but everything else is wrong.
Huh?
They didn't tell me how much you knew, but it seems that I'm Dad's biological nephew.
What? His nephew?
Yes, I'm his sister's daughter. His sister and her husband, meeting my real parents, suddenly passed away after getting into an accident. So your father took custody of me and adopted me as his daughter. That's what I heard.
Oh, is that so? So does that mean we're cousins?
Yes. About the next CEO of the company then. Dad's company evaluates people entirely on their skill. It's just a coincidence that the next CEO, me, also happened to be related to the previous CEO. I was one of the employees who were chosen as candidates for the next CEO. And luckily, they noticed my hard work and chose me.
So what about Irvis?
I've been going out with him since I was in the second year of high school. I'm only marrying him because I want to. It has nothing to do with the company.
No way, but I heard that he was competent at his job. He was at least chosen as one of the candidates for the next CEO, right?
I didn't know you had that wrong as well. Irvis isn't even an employee at our company. Where did you even get that information?
Seriously? But I always thought that Dad had brought the two of you together since he was planning to make Irvis the next CEO.
What? You read way too many short stories, Philia. Well, do you understand the situation now? There's a lot of things I need to learn if I'm going to be the next CEO, so I'm quite busy. Bye.
This can't be true. This is completely different to what I thought was happening. Why did I get everything so wrong? Why? Why is Dad's will like this? You inherit all of Dad's property, and me and Mom just get a few gifts.
It's just as the will says. Apparently you're Dad's child legally, but your father was actually a different man, and you were only born because Mom cheated on Dad. I was surprised when I saw this on the will, too. It looks like Dad even has proof that you aren't his real daughter, so there can't be a mistake.
What?
I'm sure Dad was conflicted by this fact all this time. He probably could have divorced Mom whenever he wanted to with the proof that she cheated on him. He could have even threw you away with her since you weren't his actual child.
Huh? So after all this time, you were the one who's related to Dad and not me? Why didn't he tell me about this sooner?
Dad wasn't the type of person to discriminate between us just because of the conditions surrounding our birth. He probably didn't tell us to keep the family safe. Maybe he knew that he and Mother would have gotten divorced. This proves that he did in fact care for you as well, Philia. Because if he hadn't, he would have just left the family fall apart and leave you and your mother to your own devices. You were just too blinded by jealousy to see that he cared for you as much as he did as me. I think what's written on his will is his final decision after years of inner torment, so I'm gonna do as Dad's will says. Goodbye for now, Philia. I hope that one day we can come to terms with each other and be the siblings that we always were.
But if he cared for me as much as he cared for you, then why did he give you more inheritance? I want that money as well. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to get rich after Dad died. Irvis, marry me instead of Adriana.
Huh? Phila? What in the world are you talking about? Why should I marry you?
You see, I was such an unlucky child all this time.
Oh, you mean how you ruined your father's actual child? I guess it's a bit ironic how you kicked Adriana out of her father's funeral because she wasn't actually related to him, when in reality, you were the one who wasn't related to your father, and she was.
Yes, I never wanted this to happen. And I can't even receive an inheritance because of Adriana.
What does Adriana have to do with this? Your father simply gave Adriana more money than you and your mother, simply because he thought Adriana would make better use of it, I think. I doubt he was petty enough to give Adriana more money just because he liked her more. It simply isn't good parenting. You and your mother are housewives without a job, right? But Adriana has a promising career. In fact, she's now the CEO of her father's company. And so that's probably why he gave her the money.
But if Adriana never existed, then at least I would have been Dad's only legal child, and me and Mom would have been able to receive an inheritance. Isn't that so?
Philia, do you realize that you're being extremely rude to Adriana?
What? Who cares if I was being a bit rude? I was only telling her the truth. She was trying to lay claim to Dad's inheritance even though she was just a stranger to him. That's why I told her to get out of my sight.
It's true that the business of inheritances can be delayed and people need to handle them logically. But after your father died, while everyone else was quietly mourning your dad with whatever thoughts they might have had for him, the sight of you and your mother looking so excited for the inheritance was disturbing, simply put. I'm not surprised your dad chose to give his inheritance mainly to Adriana. With that personality of yours, I'm actually surprised he didn't divorce your mother and let go of you sooner. It just goes to show how kind of a man he was.
It's not like that. Dad always treated Adriana better than me, and now I know why. It's because I wasn't actually his real child, and Adriana was his nephew all along. And I never intended for it to seem like I wasn't sad about my dad's death and only cared about the inheritance, Irvis. I was sad about Dad's death just like everyone else. You just didn't notice it. And what do you mean, that personality of yours? I'm a much better person than Adriana. She just pretends to be the saint when in reality, she just does it to make people like her. And me and Mom are the only person who realize it.
I knew that's what she would say. It's not like your dad ever told me anything, but I don't think that he treated Adriana better than you simply because you were the child of another man. And Adriana was his nephew. Adriana's father was the kind of person that judged someone entirely on who they are as a person. You can see it in how he runs his company, where employees are evaluated entirely on their skill, right? This means that your father was more fond of Adriana than you simply because he liked her better as a person. Although I will admit that a father treating their children with different levels of love is a bit unfair, and I'll forgive you a little bit for that. But saying that you never intended for it to seem like you weren't sad about your dad's death and that you only cared about the inheritance, it's actually just as bad as saying that you did intend for it to look like that. Because now you're just someone that has no regard for manners and what other people think.
Irvis, don't say things like that. It wasn't my fault that I wasn't actually my father's child and that Adriana was his niece. I didn't ask for any of this to happen. Please, I have no one else to depend on. Why don't you want to marry me?
I feel bad for your situation, but sorry, I'm not going to marry you no matter how much I pity you. Because I love Adriana and no other woman. Goodbye, Philia. I hope that you someday find happiness of your own.
Dad was the owner of the house Philia and her mother lived in, but it was now my house after the inheritance. It seems the two were too proud to live in a house owned by me, so they used the little money they received as a gift from Dad to find an apartment. Actually, the gift money they received was only little compared to the rest of the inheritance, but it was still quite a large sum of money. But for some reason, the two of them decided that these were the funds they needed to start gambling, even though they needed that money to get by until they could start providing for themselves. Even though they intended to earn some easy money by winning, they eventually lost all of it. Now the two of them support themselves by working at a job that comes with housing. But since the two of them have never worked a day in their lives, they frequently make mistakes and get scolded by the other employees. The two now live in poverty and constantly have fights, it seems. Me and Irvis, on the other hand, got married a few months after the memorial service took place, which is also when I started to be more comfortable with my new position as the CEO. We decided to find a new house as a way of putting the past behind and starting anew. And I decided to sell the house I inherited from Dad. I kind of feel bad for Philia. After all, she thought that she was her dad's real child her whole life. But to be honest, I don't think Dad was the kind of person to judge a person based on something like that. So I also feel that what happened to her was ultimately her own doing.
Hey, Samantha, just checking in with my beautiful future wife. Hope you've got everything ready on your end. I can't wait to finally get married to you.
Oh, Nate, I can't wait either. And don't worry at all. Everything is prepared. Good morning, by the way. I'm about to leave the house in a bit. Don't worry about me at all. Everything is organized on my end.
Gotcha, too easy. I'm just about ready too.
Hey, Nate, I've been meaning to ask, but are you sure everything is going to be all right?
What do you mean? Is there something bothering you?
You know, those three from back in high school that are always notorious for taking it too far, Ben, Jerry, and George, I'm worried that they'll ruin it for us too. Remember last time at Hannah's wedding? They took it way too far with their little prank during the ceremony and got kicked out. How did they even get away with doing that anyways? Nothing like that is going to happen during our wedding, right? I mean, I know we've taken the precautions of not inviting them to our wedding to prevent that from happening, but I know they're the type to just show up at anything that interests them, so I wouldn't put it past them to come crashing in out of the blue. I don't know, maybe I'm just paranoid?
Well, if those three cause any issues with me, I'll deal with them without hesitation. They know how serious I am about that too. I've warned them not to do anything or they'll be in a world of pain.
Well, okay then, if you say so. I guess there's nothing I should be worrying about then.
Look, you're just being way too paranoid. Trust me on this one.
You're right. I guess I'm just anxious since it's such a big day for the both of us.
Don't go postponing the wedding now just because you're too worried about it going wrong. I won't forgive you if you end up doing that. I'm only kidding. I know you wouldn't do something that crazy, no matter how worried you were.
Sorry I'm being weird. Just forget what I said.
Anyway, I'll see you soon.
Okay, I look forward to it.
Yo! How have you been, Sammy? Remember me? It's Ben from high school. You're confused how I got in contact with you. I guess we weren't friends on here. Look, don't sweat the details. Then again, I guess you're not going to see these messages until after the reception ends. Well, whatever. I'll keep you updated anyways. You bet the boys are all going to be there just like good old times. I'm with Jerry and George right now. I know we weren't invited, but we can't pass up such a massive party like this, right? You'll be seeing us real soon. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. We found a secret little entrance to crash this party of yours, and we're about to infiltrate. Wish us luck! So I hope you're ready. I don't want you to get a heart attack from our sudden entrance. Oh man, you're an absolute legend, Sammy. I'm glad our little plan to shove your face into the wedding cake went through without getting noticed, and that wasn't the best part either. Who would have expected you to trip on your own wedding dress during all of this and face plant into the floor? Then, the wedding cake came crashing down, landing all over you. Man, I wish I got that on video. There's no way we could have scripted something that hysterical. Anyways, you've been pranked. Oh, I'm glad I went over the entire plan with your husband Nate beforehand. Anyways, I'd love to hang out more with the rest of you, but we've got places to be and things to do, so we'll see you later. Phew, thanks for the laugh. Hey, how are you doing? Well, what a fall you had. God, that was classic. Epic prank, right? I wish I could see that again. That was insane how you just fell right into the cake and then you got finished off when it crumbled all onto you. God, and the crowd loved it. Did you see their reactions? I hope someone in the crowd recorded all of that. Man, if we upload that, it'll go viral. Anyways, go get dressed and come back. Busy day ahead after all. Hey, Samantha. Aw, come on now. There's no need to be so bitter about the whole thing. And besides, you wouldn't have ruined the wedding dress if it wasn't for you tripping over and face-planting, right? I'd say you're partially responsible for all of this. Anyways, I'm sure it won't even take that long, so stop sulking and get dressed. Go choose a new dress and put it on and do your makeup again. I'm sure you'll be good to go in no time. Look, we can't keep the other visitors waiting forever, okay? I'm sure the staff working here also wouldn't appreciate it if we postponed the wedding just because of some small mishap. So get on with it.
We will be canceling the wedding, and I'll be filing for a divorce.
Wait, what? Huh? Hold on. Have you gone insane? You're joking, right? Samantha, we need to talk right now. What in the world are you thinking? How could you report my friends to the police? Hello, it was a light prank. Get over yourself, you're such a drama queen. That's all it was, a lighthearted joke. Don't take it personally, you party pooper. Those were your husband's close friends from school. Are you not embarrassed to be this much of a sore loser? You could have just laughed it off. Honestly, I wouldn't even have minded if you got depressed about it, but calling the police on them is too far. To top it off, you had to call off the wedding? Are you for real? We were having such a great relationship up until then, but of course you had to ruin it all. We have to pay a cancellation fee. Do you not understand that your actions could lead to consequences for us? Not to mention, you went ahead and wasted the 25 grand that we paid to get all this set up. Are you stupid? Do you think I'm made of money or something?
I'm sure you've heard from my lawyer at this point, but what you did was clearly cross the line. You know I had light brain damage from that fall I took, right? All because of your dumb prank that you thought was so funny to set up?
Wait, what do you mean?
Nate, I passed out because of what you did. You know how I sent you the message about canceling the wedding and having a divorce with you and all? Well, that was actually my mom that wrote all that for my sake since I was unconscious. Not to mention I twisted my ankle when I fell. And to top things off, the knife I was holding at the time cut through my wedding dress. One wrong move and it could have been critical for me, you know? Your friends might have directly caused my death. Do you want me dying on the most important day of our lives? And you're the one that thinks I'm taking it too far by bringing all of this up to the police? Is that how it is? I think if anything, you're the one that made the 25 grand we spent go to waste. You ruined this wedding.
Ugh, damn it.
I'm going through with this divorce no matter what. End of conversation. I'm warning you. You better be prepared.
Samantha, I won't accept this. You hear me? I was just trying to brighten up the mood since you were so worried about all of those things happening. And this is how you repay me? By getting my friends arrested and throwing me out like yesterday's garbage? But of course that wasn't enough to satisfy you. You made my friends pay for all of your hospital fees. Then you went through and called things off with our marriage and made me pay for all the cancellation fees. Besides, why do I have to pay for everything related to this failed wedding anyways? We both should have to split it. It was your wedding as much as it was mine. How much money are you going to take from me before you're satisfied?
You knew from the very beginning that I was wary about those friends of yours. I feared that they would have done something like this, and yet instead you helped them out? I heard from someone that you told them that it was fine to go through with their prank. But why did you never dig deeper to find out what they were going to do specifically? You literally gave them permission to do whatever they wanted at our wedding.
Well, I didn't want to ruin the surprise after all. Can't be having that on such a day of celebrations.
You know very well that that's not the problem here. Why did I have to deal with 3 guys that assaulted me by throwing me into a cake from behind? Tell me, what did I do to deserve this? Why did I have to suffer injuries and embarrass myself in front of a crowd just for your entertainment, huh?
Like I keep saying, if it wasn't for you losing your balance, then this would have just ended in a light laugh for both of us. You just had to fall over and cause all of these problems. Now look, the whole wedding is a mess.
Listen to me. I had never worn a wedding dress out and about like that, Nate. Not to mention I was wearing high heels. Do you know how hard it is to regain your balance when you're being pushed with the things I was wearing? I'd love to see you try going through all of that with a wedding dress on. How would a woman even win a strength contest against 3 grown men anyways?
You say that, but this was all just an accident. I never knew it was going to end with you getting injured.
You were okay with your friends assaulting your own wife. Let that sink in, Nate. And to add insult to injury, you, who I was going to get married to, didn't even come to help me up at all. You were just sitting back and laughing with those 3 idiots you call friends.
I keep telling you, I didn't realize you were actually hurt.
I'm sure you could have at least rushed over and checked if I was okay, but you didn't even do that. You need to remember, Ben and the others have caused havoc at other weddings in the past. How did you not realize this was a bad idea to let them do whatever they wanted? You're lucky. This could have gone much worse than what ended up happening. I had a knife in my hand, for God's sake. We agreed to not let them anywhere near this wedding, didn't we? So why did you break my trust and help them to do what they wanted to do? I don't understand you at all. I thought you loved me. Did you really not care about my feelings that much that you were okay with me being potentially injured from all of this?
Well, that wasn't my intention. You have to believe me.
Well, what was your intention then?
Well, how can I explain this?
Go on, tell me. What was your intention? Be honest.
You see, it's complicated.
What did I say? Look at you. You can't even come up with a single valid excuse. Do you understand why I want to go through with this divorce now? And why I made you pay for all of the expenses? Clearly, you were the only one between us that was in the wrong. So, of course, you're the one that will be paying for damages. You directly caused the issues with this wedding, so you better have it in you to fix all of this up yourself. That's what responsibility is.
Hey, so I was thinking, is there any chance we could try again and start over?
Hell no. I know you would say the same thing to me if the roles were reversed. Now just get out of my face already.
Hey, Samantha. I suppose it's been 5 years already, huh? Time sure flies. I heard the big news. You're getting married soon, aren't you? Congratulations. And I heard where the wedding is going to be held too. It's all happening today, isn't it? I know you wish it were me you were marrying. I'll go pick you up right away. Just you wait. We're supposed to get married. And then we can finally get back together like old times. Hey, Samantha, where are you? Sam? Hold on, I don't get any of this. I went ahead and dressed up all nice and fancy for this day. I'm waiting outside too. But I noticed that you're not even the one getting married. How does that make sense? I don't get it. I thought you were getting married at the hotel downtown today. Oh, come on, answer me already.
Oh, what do you want?
There you are, finally. Where exactly are you right now? Come on, just tell me already.
Why do I have to tell you where I'm getting married? You literally have no part in my life right now.
You need to tell me, please.
God, fine, I'll tell you. Just stop pestering me already. I'm in Hawaii, and for your information, I'm getting married as we speak. So now what? What are you going to do with that information,
Huh? Wait, you're in Hawaii? Why are you all the way out there?
To not deal with you. Why else would I be here?
Damn it, you took a plane just to get away from me? I thought you'd still be in the same city all this time.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but people change in 5 years. Though it seems like you didn't change one bit from the looks of things. I moved to an entirely different state because I didn't want to ever deal with you again. I quit my job, moved states, and started a brand new life here. And now I'm marrying a man who I met when I was first settling down here. That's all there is to it.
Wait, what? Why though? I still have feelings for you. Don't you understand me?
I don't believe a single word that comes from your filthy mouth.
Why not, huh? What did I ever do to you?
Really? What did you ever do to me? You really don't remember? You laughed at me while I was in pain on our wedding day. If that doesn't tell me what I need to know about you, I don't know what will.
I told you that was all a misunderstanding that came up from an accident.
I don't care if that wasn't your intention or whatever, because that's exactly what happened. Why would I ever want to go back to being with you after getting my trust completely shattered like that?
Samantha, come on. This isn't the game you want to be playing.
You just want to get back with me so that everyone else around you thinks that you're not as vile as you actually are, right? God, you're so childishly naive.
Wait, please, give me another chance.
Ask yourself this. Why would I? I haven't needed you for the past 5 years, and I won't need you going forward either.
Just wait a second, let's talk this through.
Don't ever message me again.
Hold on. See, I messed up again when I went to a wedding the other week, and they're blaming all of the damages on me. I need to pay them money now. I'm in more debt than I ever was. Please, Samantha, I need your help. I'm begging you. Even my parents aren't helping me out at all. I promise I'll make you happy, so please just save me this once. We used to love each other so much, remember? Please. Don't just ignore me. Ugh, why aren't you reading any of my messages? Sam!
Even 5 years after having a divorce with my ex-husband, I didn't end up blocking his number just in case I could use any further assault as evidence. But to think he'd actually try and contact me again and try to make me his wife of all things? After hearing about his death that he had, I reached out to a friend back home. She told me that Nate had ended up crashing a wedding of someone unrelated to him and caused a scene for the sake of it, ending in him owing the couple a $50,000 fine. To make things worse for him, he'd been fired from his job a few months prior and was completely unemployed. And he was getting shady loans from elsewhere in order to support himself. Until one day a black car arrived at his worn-down apartment, and that was the last time anyone saw him. I don't entirely know what happened to Nate, but I'm sure it had something to do with the egregious amounts of money he was borrowing. His bank account, on the other hand, is getting small payments as the months go by, so perhaps he's being made to work for someone somewhere.